Hi everyone, I've had a few questions about how to do the IDPP assignment, so I want to show you a little more about how this project should go. Let's say you have some basic information that you have to show to someone, and the basic information looks like this, and you want to make it look a little bit better. You can use Microsoft SmartArt to do that. And I'm going to, first of all, delete this text. That's the text that I have. I'm going to hit Control-X and delete it. And now I want to insert SmartArt. And because I have a list of information, I'm going to start with a list version of SmartArt and just select this first one, basic block list. And when I click OK, I get this basic template, and now I can paste the information I had into the SmartArt, and then it displays the information in this way. It's a little more interesting now. When I click on the SmartArt, I can also change the color scheme by going up into the SmartArt Tools Design tab and then find a color scheme, and I can change that color scheme. When I'm in SmartArt, I can also mouse over different designs, and then I can see different visualizations of the information. You can see some of them don't work well at all, some of them aren't very interesting, but some of them do work. When you click on this More button, you'll see that there are more layouts to choose from. And you can see a cycle here renders like that. So the question is, how do I choose one of these designs to best display the information that I want to show to people? I can resize so that the type gets bigger and smaller, and then I can change also the basic designs of the graphic elements over here. And you can see that some work better than others. So the question is, based on the purpose for this information, based on the content, which design is going to be the most effective? These are basic information design questions that can only be answered by thinking through some of the factors involved with the information that you want to display and the purposes to which it's going to be put. If we go back to the syllabus for the course, you can see that I have a basic list here, and then I've chosen a basic block design because it renders the information in a colorful way. It doesn't have to be complicated or fancy, but the color helps to break up the text and highlight the basic information. When you select content on the left-hand side, you have to go into the Design tab here. You can promote it, or you can demote the content based on how you want to use it and what design you've chosen. In this case, when I go back to this, I have to demote some of the content to make it fit, to make it render in this way. So in this case, I have a heading, and that's promoted, and then I have the categories of students, and that has been demoted to create the bulleted list over here, and then the SmartArt graphic over here. So that's the basic technique. Now, for the project, I've asked you to visualize quite a larger data set. And that data set is simply the content of your information development project plan template. And that information is laid out in the template, and you can access this from the website. You can see this is the blank one, and it has the different sections in it. Obviously, one of the goals of this assignment is to make you better acquainted with the Information Development Project Plan. I ask you to study it and learn it well so that you understand what kinds of content go in it and what the purpose of the document is. I've also provided you with an exemplary multi-project IDPP. It's on the website for this week, and all of the categories are filled with information. So you can see how the categories are to be filled in. There's an example of a user profile for a product manual, for example. And there are many examples of each type of information that goes into the IDPP. So the question is, what's the best way to visualize the purpose and function of the IDPP using SmartArt? Now, I use SmartArt because it's simple to use and it's available in Microsoft Word. You don't have to use it, but it's a fairly easy way to play around with different ways of visualizing information. It's fast and flexible, but you don't have to use it. But no matter what you use, the question is, what's the solution? How do you arrive at a solution? And you arrive at a solution by asking these 5 questions from the document called Visualizing Information for Advocacy. You've already read this, and now I'm asking you to go back and use some of the content from it. What information should you collect? Well, that question is already answered for you. It's all of the information that's in the template. What types of information do I have? Now, to answer that question, you have to study the template and then look at the answers in the exemplary IDPP, and then we'll tell you what kinds of information you have. You have information about the process, you have personas and scenarios, and from all that you have to decide which information is worth using in your visualization. And it's going to be the information that answers the question, what's the function and purpose of the IDPP? What's your key message? Well, you have to decide, what is this thing? What is it? Is it best to talk about it as a list of information? Is it best to talk about a hierarchy of information? If we go back to the choices in the SmartArt graphic list, maybe it's best to talk about the IDPP as a process. Process suggests linearity, beginning, middle, and end. A cycle suggests a recursive activity where you cycle back around and around, or hierarchy, relationship, or any of these other ones. And then which way should you render or visualize the content of the IDPP? Of course, another key question is, what can you leave out? There's more information in the template and in the sample than you can really realistically use in a visualization. It would be too cluttered. So what's essential and what can you leave out? These are all important information design questions that people are faced with every day as they think about content. And, well, as you can imagine, after talking with you yesterday, I know that you wrestle with these questions at your workplace. And so I'm asking you to apply the theory of this particular publication and the other readings that you've had for the week to come up with a viable answer. And once you do, to individually present a proposal to say, or even create, you could either say or create something like this. Say, I think it should look like this, and these are my reasons. Or you might say, no, it should probably look like this. Or no, it should look like this, or something like this. And you can sketch it out, or you can actually create something and an outline of the content for the thing. And then when you post it, I want you and your small groups to have a conversation about which ideas seem the best and why. I want you to debate and determine the best way to go for a solution for this. And then either somebody volunteer or maybe somebody nominate someone in your group to actually create this particular piece of word art, smart art, to represent the group, and then to provide a rationale for your decision. So that is an overview of the project, and if you have additional questions, please post them to or send an email or post them to the FAQ.